Hi everyone, and welcome to the webinar on managing asset integrity and risk from home. Today we'll be talking about remotely accessing your data in order to make critical decisions. Thank you for all taking time out of your day to join us, and before we get started, I'd also like to thank all of the frontline workers out there doing their essential jobs. Today I'll be your host. My name is Geneva Gordon. I'm a Junior Asset Integrity Engineer for Antea Canada out of Montreal. I also have Joel Chapman in the background of this webinar. He'll be answering your questions and doing a demonstration later. He's also a junior engineer. We also have Floyd Baker. He's the Vice President of Antea USA, and he'll be our subject matter expert today.
Thank you, Geneva, for the introductions. As Geneva mentioned, my name is Floyd Baker. I've been in asset integrity management business for 39 years, my entire career actually. That's been an evolution through service companies to working for owner users and back into the service industry and now into software. I've always had a passion for disruptive technologies, new and emerging technologies, both from a technical platform standpoint and of course data acquisition standpoint, meaning devices and robotics and that sort of thing. Glad to be here, and thank you guys for showing up as well.
At Antea, we've been providing digital solutions for asset integrity management for over 30 years, all around the world. Today, we'll specifically be talking about managing your plant when you can't be there. Let's start by talking about some of the challenges that we face during a global lockdown, a strike, stay-at-home orders, any time where certain employees or personnel can't make it to the site. I know COVID-19 has really been affecting us, and there are some huge challenges.
So yeah, Geneva, that's all really good points. Really tough to manage our businesses in remote areas, or at least in the past it has been. The infrastructure is actually in place to these days to manage your businesses from home or anywhere else for that matter. COVID-19 has made a huge impact on us, and really it's kind of forced us to kind of take on those challenges. You know, one of the biggest challenges for any asset intense environment like refineries, petrochemical plants, power plants, it's really managing very large amounts of data. And then, of course, having ways to access that data in a remote area. You know, how do you get to that data? How do you actually do something with it to where you can keep doing the job that you do and not be on site to do it? This is the true challenge, finding a way to operate safely, cost effectively, and of course, reliably and responsibly.
Yes, and that data really is needed to make those critical decisions. But now, technology is at a place where we can get huge amounts of data from basically everything we own. My watch will tell me how much I slept, how many steps I took. We can track our phones, even put a device to track our keys. There are so many applications for this data collection and use.
That's right, Geneva. That's right. The things that you're referring to in the Internet of Things, that's really what it's all about. That's where it comes from. It's a disruptive technology solution. It's where using wireless communication between these sensors and devices in a day-to-day operation, you know, creates a much more efficient environment. Plus, it's access to an enormous amount of data, useful data that you can actually create some actions from. These are methods of collecting data. Lots of different methods for collecting data, big data. Really big data.
Outside of our examples, there are so many applications for this data to be used in an industrial setting. Can you speak to some of the greatest benefits that you see?
Sure, Geneva. So by applying these kinds of next generation core operational solutions and models, operators are enabled to rapidly make decisions to an ever-changing environment. We believe this reduces the risk of catastrophic events taking place. It improves safety, and of course improves efficiency, thereby reducing cost in the overall grand scheme of things.
Absolutely, but how can operators and managers get any benefits from just a huge chunk of data? Looking at long lists of numbers in Excel, maybe graphing them here and there, it takes a lot of time to really understand and pull meaningful conclusions.
Yeah, so that's a really good point to touch on, big data and how to deal with it all. You know, the first step is transforming data into actionable information, and you know that's a real simple way to say that, but it's really doable. It's very doable, and the Antea platform is capable of doing that. That's what it's designed to do. Let me show you a slide here. I'd like to show you a slide and kind of walk you through the mindset and give you a visual of what that looks like. So if you look to the left of the slide here, you see question at the top right, upper left-hand corner. Well, you got a question. First, you need access. So you develop the access, you create the access to the actual tools that get you to the asset and its information. Those tools would be anything from a Google Maps to a plot plan, PNIDs or PFDs, even point cloud data and 3D models. Being able to look or visualize that asset and then just click on a part or piece in that asset, a component, the asset or the components on the asset, and be able to get all the information associated to that component and or asset is truly profound. It's a truly profound way to process data in a human's mind. You see on the left there is answers, excuse me, and answers can be in the form of anything from previous inspection reports, scheduling activities for any kind of work or maintenance that's taking place, the maintenance information, what was found during the maintenance activities, any kind of data sheets, spec sheets, U1 forms, and also any of the information or data that resides in your ERP or your EAM or CMMS systems, be it SAP, Infor, Maximo, any or either of the above. Noticing all on the red down there on the left-hand side, of course, Antea platform addresses 140 different types of assets and in an operating facility. So it really doesn't matter what the asset is. It's just a matter of visualizing it and then being able to access all of the data or information associated to that asset straight through that digital twin, 3D model, PNID, PFD, Google Maps, or plot plan. So speaking of visualizing assets or asset-intense environments, one of the best ways we think to access information is, of course, first by understanding what it is you're looking for. And, of course, we do that in several ways. One, again, we mentioned PNIDs, PFDs, plot plans, Google Maps. All of these things are possible within the platform. One of the coolest features is 3D model and, of course, digital twin. Digital twins really is to me one of the coolest ways, because you're actually looking at what's out there. You're looking at what's out there, and you know what it looks like, what around it looks like. You can actually measure things and make plans for work activities. It's a really cool feature. So Jill's showing us a visualization, a digital twin of a tank in this cluster unit. He's going to show you he can reach to the global map. He can reach to a local map. You can check a data sheet from right there, look at the data sheet and get any kind of information you need. You can access the PNID directly from there. You can access the 3D model. Click on a shell. You can look at each shell course, look at each nozzle separately. You can look at heads separately, manways. Doesn't matter. All the asset and all the components in and of the asset are accessible with all of their data in this platform. then the 3D point cloud. Here's where I talked about you can measure and take measurements and actually measure for things like scaffolding to access this PSV on top of this vessel to actually make repairs or do maintenance. You can do all this straight from your desktop at home, and be able to send that information through your ERP or EAM system to actually initiate work activities so that the work's still happening in the field, even though your engineers or your planners might be operating from home.
The digital twin looks great, but what is it really useful for? Can you explain some of the value here?
Yeah, that's a real good question, Geneva, and it's kind of takes me back to a year or so ago. I read an article where over time humans have developed an 8-second attention span. They attribute that to things like social media, gaming, and that sort of thing that you can do from your cell phone. And it's all this information is so accessible that we just don't take so much time to process it anymore. I'm even hearing nowadays that's reduced itself to the attention span of a goldfish. I think that's 3 to 4 seconds. Either way you look at it, it takes more to catch our attention, and visualization is how I think we do that, and I think that we're very successful at that within the Intel platform. Given the amount of data increase and the variety of data involved, along with the velocity that data is coming at us, the role of visualization becomes more and more critical than ever before. And we at Antea, we've accelerated the use of that digital asset environment to create a superior user experience going through these processes. I've got another slide here I'd like to show you. This is a representation, a visualization of how we do it. So if you look to the left, we bring data in through our asset extract. That data can be in the form of AutoCAD, that can be in the form of Excel spreadsheets. It could even be reports or Word documents that are PDF'd and brought into the system. And you see on the lower left there are any third-party system we can connect or create an interface to access or import data from there. The middle part of this representation here, core asset management and visualization platform. Well, this is where it all takes place. Web-based, cloud-based, Antea Core is where all of the real visualization take place, and the other tools here, Janus and Rapid 3D, are used to actually make these 3D models and that sort of thing right inside the platform. This is the different asset integrity products, or let's call them applications or modules that address different kinds of assets or different environments. Everything from a typical IDMS to RBI, to pipeline integrity management. All of these modules are addressed in the platform itself. It's where we create the environment for the connected worker. And of course, remote sensing fits into all of that as well. This is real-time reporting, real-time data acquisition, even data acquisition where human interface is involved. So the other side of this is the business transformation. How we manage all of this data in this platform, and how do we keep all that data the same as the data around us? Like take, for instance, third-party systems or legacy systems. You may be using SAP or Infor or Maximo to manage your daily activities, daily work activities, and any of that work that takes place, you want to make sure that that information makes it to your data management platform as well. So as long as the two are connected and interfaced, there's the value, is the interface, to where you can create an environment that is one single version of the truth.
These things and many other techniques can be used to reduce challenges into one technology-driven solution. This is not just extra features for the sake of tech, but really the value that the technology adds.
You're spot on, Geneva. It is the value that matters most. It's not just technology for the sake of technology. We're here to help you adjust to whatever the new normal looks like. And nobody really has a good handle on that yet, but we do know that things probably will never be the same anymore. Not changing our work, just changing how we do our work.
Thank you for dropping in. We really appreciate your time. We hope to see you in our next webinar, and if you scroll down, there's actually a poll to choose that topic. If you have any additional questions, please let us know. You can email us at info@entea.tech.
Thank you guys for joining us. Stay safe out there.
And have a great day.